Greetings and salutations, fellow gamers. Lukey P here with another episode of Supreme Ruler Ultimate. So, in this episode, our aim is going to be to try and sort out our economy, which has started to cough and splutter a bit. So I think one of the keys to this is going to be using our population to ramp up consumer goods. So we're producing industrial goods, we're producing, we've got a big stockpile, we're producing more than we need once you take construction out of it. So in effect we are sinking a large sum of money into industrial goods. So I was thinking a bit about it between episodes, and maybe that's why our economy isn't making as much as one might have hoped. So we're going to leave these guys up here because we may well want them to build more rubber there in due course, but rubber is like 175 million per production facility, and quite frankly we want to be focusing what funds we've got on building out our consumer manufacturing. So that's got good supply, that's got good supply as well. Yeah, okay. I think there is going to be where we want to build. So let's have a look. Goods consumer, 154 million and 18,000 tons of industry goods and 80 days to build. So if we manage to half that, let's say 40, so it's takes about a month to build. So let's start off with one, rush the production and see how much profit we're still making per day or not. So that is day one blip for the cost of it, and we are, yeah, it's not cheap per day, is it? So that's 6 million, which given we were sorry, I'm tabbing around a bit. Yeah, so could we afford another 6 million a day for 20 days? Yeah, we can. So let's build 2 of these at once. Okay, so let's sell the 20 or so thousand of that we do have. Let's sell some of that to Berlin, because Germany seems to be our most reliable trading partner at the moment, certainly in terms of what it's willing to pay. So yeah, that's 86 million, that will help support the economy while we're losing money. And then let's just sell what bit of oil we've got. Okay, so that should be enough to prop up the economy while we are building these. Research breakthrough. We have finished transport improvements. Well, that's good, because what it also allows us to do is to not research for a little bit. Now he's going to complain, but that's just too bad. Consumer goods, so China don't really want to buy very many at all, but they're willing to pay a decentish margin on them, so we'll go ahead and do that. So the reason we've not started research because it costs money and we're running a deficit economy at the moment, so we just want to be a little bit cautious. Yeah, another engineer. Let's tell. Then we also want construction, and so we've now got our 6 engineers in that group as well. So now we should be building, yeah, motorized Pyrenees. Let's send you to reserves while we're waiting. Now we could, of course, we could put our social spending down, but given we're trying to fix our economy, China has declared war on Mongolia. Okay, 2.3%. Wow. You know, I've played games up to about 1945, 1946 with Brazil and never got that low unemployment. So this is Hitler and Mussolini meet in Munn. Should that be Munich? I think it probably should be Munich. Okay, well, diplomatic offer. Yeah, offering good margins. We'll take that. Let's put these back to reserves. They keep coming out. And we'll keep sending them back. One day, 0 days, 5 days, 2 days, 0 days. Right, so let's just have a little look at what that's done. So let's play it through for another 24 hours so that these get fixed. So yeah, we're using a little bit more of that. Yes, we're probably using a bit. No, we're not using any more of that. We are now using marginally more metal ore than we can produce, so we will just put another one of those online. And we are building more industrial goods, so we're now building a bunch more. What we're going to do is we're going to put 50% to stock. Going to sell when the price is there. I mean, how many are we selling on the market? We're the third largest exporter in the world of those at the moment, each day. So you know, we haven't got that much power, but we will influence the market a little bit, and the plan is that we can afford to take them off the market we're fine on these, so we're using a bit more for, and we're fine on those. And so what this is doing basically is, by stockpiling these, we're building up a stockpile of consumer goods, which is fine because those are almost always wanted by a whole bunch of nations. So consumer goods are the most expensive things in the world. Loads of people want them on the world market normally. So what we can do is, again, because we've got the supplies to do it, we've got roughly the same money we had a few minutes ago. We're going to invest in another 2 of these. A diplomatic offer, China again, consumer goods, fine. Constructions began. What we've got here: tips, research projects, more unit efficiency. What we might do now is see. Oh, yeah, might be. I don't think we've looked at that before, but briefly, that's the technology races, which tells you how far you are along to reaching certain key technological milestones. So that's quite expensive. 300 million spread over 50 days. $90 million spread over. I think we may go for mobile steel barges. Just in the interest of researching something which isn't going to bankrupt me. So we're losing about 7 million a day. Which is not ideal. US condemns Japan over China about going to war. 2.2, wow. This is yeah, this is getting interesting. So let's see about selling some more of our consumer goods. So we can get 17 for 12,000. We can get 70 million out of Berlin. How much can we get out of our Italians? Also 72 million. Oh no, 70 million. And I think we may elect to sell to the Italians, because if you notice, they've gone to 4 friendliness with us, which suggests they're going to be predisposed to give us good prices for a little while. Let's see about selling them some oil as well. Do they need oil? They've got 6 million barrels in stock, but that will not last them long. What we might do is just watch and see if that goes down. It keeps going down each day. Let's see how much they want to give us for it now. So if I sell them 10.6 million barrels, sorry I didn't make a note of that, so I get 102 million for 10.6 million barrels. The UK, who are apparently cold towards me now, which is a bit disappointing. 94 million versus 102. So the UK really don't seem to like me for some reason in this game. I do wonder, there was an update on Steam literally just as I was starting this and they're the winners, just as I was starting this Let's Play series. I do wonder if it's changed some of the game mechanics from what I'm used to. To make the economy a bit harder, because to be honest it was a bit easy at times before. We've got a nice fast unit now. So why don't we send Mr. Fast Unit over to our basically 0%. You know what? Sending him there is going to be a bit silly because they are going to run out of oil. It's better probably to have our mechanized, our land units slowly slog their way through. Actually, let's just send him over here. He can neighbour that. So you see how much faster he moves. And they do construction. So you see our immigration has gone up a lot, and that's partly because we're spending more, and that's partly probably because of those treaties I signed. Inflation's at 20.5%. I don't know, maybe putting the tax rate up helps. I mean, tax rate in theory should it should take money out of people's pockets, which will cause them distress, but they have less to spend, which will reduce inflation in theory anyway. So look, this is we're still making an excess of these. Our metal is fine, we've still got spare capacity in that, having turned an additional plant on. Accept Chinese diplomatic offer. basically we're making $600 per unit on that, roughly ish. So let's yeah, we can build another couple, I think, and then that will probably be us done on consumer goods for a little bit, while we think about what on earth we're going to do if we've started off this game in a recession, which it looks like we might have just had some bad luck. It could be incompetent playing, or it could be bad luck. They are not even offering me break even on agriculture, so I'm going to reject it. So this is, I mean, actually looking at this, this is so this is selling for really good prices on the market, so we're just going to drip through. Actually, what we might do is Chile just tried to buy that off us. Where is Chile? This is Chile. No, that's Peru. There is Chile. They've only got 107 million. That's not a lot. What about the UK? They sometimes want agriculture because they're running a bit short of it. Let's say if I wanted to sell them. No. What about Germany? So that's a 40% profit on it. So given we've been building up our agriculture stock and we can seem to get 40% profit from Germany, let's sell 1 million of that. And that, you know, we've still got 500,000 of stock. The profit margins on that were pretty good on the market. You know, it's selling for 22% normally, but they're even better when I've sold them direct to Germany. I mean, the other thing which is going to be helping our economy is we are stockpiling an awful lot of oil. So let's just sell 10% on the open market. Let's see what that does. So it's favourable. It's not actually going, is it? So we finished building that. Our economy, oh, we've still on Germany. Our economy is looking pretty abject at 2.2% unemployment. What on earth are we going to do about that? Long time friend Joseph Kennedy as ambassador to the United Kingdom. We'll sell to China. Let's just have a look. China are always trying to buy our industrial goods. You can see where we've been trading. They've gone up to 4, so they're cordial with us. They're always trying to buy our consumer goods. So let's say to them, hey, we kind of like you. What if we gave you 30,000 of that? How much will you pay? 174. You should really pay more. So is that the question? Is that the cap they're willing to pay? No, it's not really. So for 30,000, they were willing to pay 176, so is that just a smidge over 30,000. What would Germany pay us for that? $156. So China's actually offering me more, aren't they? 176. Let's see what the UK is willing to do, because the UK is often... Oh no, the UK's got a surplus in consumer goods this time. Okay. We'll check more in hope than expectation. They're not even willing to give us cost. It looks like, oddly, we may end up getting drawn just from trade into the Axis. Italy's only willing to give us a bit more. It might be because they're not massively cash rich at the moment. So we'll sell these industry goods to China. Sorry, these consumer goods to China. There we go, so let's put us back up to near enough a billion. So our economy is, I mean, it's not great, but it's coping. So this is I think if we're going to build more of that, we may build it in the future by shipping some units over there. So what we're going to do is we're going to move these guys up to here, start their long walk, because we want them in the future to improve the supply around here, because there's a bunch of oil fields running at 10% capacity, which is just rubbish. Costa Rica has completed research on analog fire control. So that's we finished our research as well. That's what that little ding was. Yeah, so let's go for commercial food processing, because then we can get to improve military logistics, which will improve our infrastructure rating. So we're making 5 million a go. (2.2% unemployment). So 5 million a day we're making roughly, which is fine because we're also stockpiling a very large percentage of our oil and half of our consumer goods surplus. Yep, that's a good deal. Okay, so our economy is it's balancing off now a bit. So electricity is going to become a problem soon, and we possibly do want a few more consumer things. So given we've already got a village centre there, let's move these units there. France. Now we're starting to get somewhere. I mean, it's not a massive amount, but they are offering us, if you look at that, they're offering us over twice the price. They want 21 million of goods and they're willing to pay us 48 million, so that is 100% profit margin. So we're definitely going to accept that. And this is finally a sign that the oil, maybe oil is slowly getting to the point where people can't quite supply all they need. But so coal, we're going to build a couple of coal power plants. We should check our industrial goods because we haven't checked them. So we're now at 90,000 on that. So if we build a couple of coal, which is 30,000, and a consumer good, which is 20,000, we've still got plenty left. We could even go for 2 consumer goods and 2 coal. Let's do that. If that completely messes up our economy, we can always pause some of the building. It's definitely going to make us loss making. It's going to make us quite heavily loss. Oh, it's only 6 million a day we're losing, which is not really worth worrying about, to be honest. Probably helped by that great oil deal we just constructed with France. When that expires, oh wow, they're back with even more. So this time they want 20 million of goods and they're offering us 72 million. So they are clearly desperate for oil. The only question is if we go and sell it to them direct, will we get an even better outcome? They've only got 1.08 million, so let's say we offered them 55 million of stuff. No, they'd only pay us 72, so we're better off not solving their oil problems, but leaving them to wait to. So 14.5 million. So that's nearly, that's nearly 50% profit margin on that. Again, it's not quite as much, probably reflective of the fact here they don't have quite as much money as Germany, I don't think. The UK, I mean that's still a pretty good price, even though they don't like us. But I think in our current economic woes, we're going to have to sell to Germany. And then we will sell a bit to the UK just to maintain something approaching okay relations with them. We'll just sell 5 million barrels. Still a reason, that's still a respectable profit margin on oil. Tip large treasury. You have a large treasury, perhaps in the billion plus range. Yeah, so we've seen how quickly that can go down. I normally like to did I actually tell these guys to help with construction? I did. Good, I'll tell them again. It's normally the point when I've got more money than I know what to do with that I start to build. I start to build research projects, research facilities. Mexico increases tariffs on the US. Okay. Let's see if the US responds to that the way it did. I last played a game of this, which is World War II breaks out, US stays neutral. Eventually, Japan, Pearl Harbor happens, Japan declares war on the US. Germany then decides to declare war on the US as a gesture of solidarity. That's something many historians looking at World War II think was a big mistake on Hitler's part, because it finally allowed the US to start shipping the UK goods en masse to the European theatre, rather than the covert or slightly more covert assistance that had been given beforehand. Anyway, on this game, unlike history, the US decided its biggest threat was Mexico, declared war and conquered the country in probably a little under a month. So France is offering me some units, which is very generous, but I don't want any units, thank you very much. When we build them, they will be better than that. But we're very happy to keep on taking your oil. So that finished while we were chatting away about history, which clearly got me interested enough to ignore the fact that my construction finished 3 days ago. So we're now running a deficit on MacLeod, but it's only 200 a day, and we've got 152,000 in reserve, so I'm quite happy to cope with that. And we'll just put this down because that will notify us if we do have a problem. We don't want to go mad on what we're spending to fix it. So good, the price of that's not unreasonable. We've still got theory meat, just in case that does ever reach to the market. Let's put it as something ridiculous because we don't really intend on selling our industrial goods stockpile. So we have in this episode, because we're getting towards the end, so we haven't fixed our economy per se, but I think we've balanced it a bit better. We're down to 2.2% unemployment, which is too low. Really, you want to be up about 3%. But we've changed our economy mix a bit. We've built 8 consumer goods, which has put what we were producing way up. So we're producing an extra 1,400-ish a day. Our electricity, we're running a little bit of a deficit now, which is potentially a problem, so we do need to put that up to keep our economy ticking over. And next time we'll build a couple more coal power plants. Coal, it looks like the market price is finally more than what it would cost us to produce, but that said, we don't have the spare population, so I'm not really too bothered about that. Rubber we're fine on. Agriculture, we're still producing as much as we can, and given the profit margins on it, you know, they're above 20% quite comfortably. We want to keep doing that. That's a good thing to be producing and exporting. Petrol, the market isn't amazing, but we can sell it for good profits to Germany and the other European powers, and when war breaks out they will be able to sell it for even more. And consumer goods, I mean, they're just nice in general to have. They're something everyone wants and will pay a reasonable amount for. So we've not fixed our economy, but we've balanced it a bit better. You know, if I just tick on a day here, you'll see we make, there we are, 7 million a day. So we're losing about 7 million there. We're selling about 13 million or so there. So yeah, we're doing all right. Things aren't going too bad. You can see how our consumer goods, now that we are producing more, it's catching up with agriculture in terms of how much it brings into our economy. So I will wrap this episode up there. Thank you very much for watching. As always, if you have any comments, any hints, any tips, any feedback on what I'm covering, anything you'd like to see more of, anything you'd like to see less of, do let me know in the comments. If you've enjoyed this video and found it useful, please do like it and think about subscribing to my channel. It really does help me out and I do appreciate it. So thank you for watching, and I will see you soon.